everyone, it's Elizabeth from Elpis Astrology at elpisastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. So today I'm going to give you my interpretation of April 2023's astrology. But as always, you have free will to choose what you want to do during this month. All right, so April 2023 astrology. Well, the big news is that the eclipse season starts this month. And wow, is it a big eclipse? It's a total eclipse. And it's a new moon. It's at 29 degrees of Aries and it's 50 minutes. So we're almost at 10 more minutes and it would be in Taurus. So this is our second lunation, our second new moon that is officially in Aries. So this is very unusual. So certainly for Aries and for Libra, this is an important time for you, in particular Aries. A time of definite new beginnings. So there may be for some Aries another start this month in April for you and whatever new things that you need to do. So when we look at Aries, we're really talking about being independent and blazing our own individual path. So the first lunation we have is a full moon. And that full moon is in Libra, the opposite sign to Aries, on the 5th of April. At 9:35 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And it's at 16 degrees of Libra and 7 minutes. We have the Sun conjunct Chiron. And in Aries, because of course the moon itself is going to be in the opposite sign of Libra. And that Sun and Chiron have a wide conjunction with Jupiter, which is also in Aries. And then, of course, the moon opposes that. The moon opposes the sun at every full moon. But because the moon is with Chiron, there's an opposition there with Chiron too. Now, the other thing we have is Mercury will be conjunct the North Nodes of the moon. And nicely, Venus steps in again and sextiles Neptune. The North Nodes of the moon, in turn, and with that Mercury, will be squaring Pluto. Now, remember that Pluto is right now 0 degrees Aquarius and some minutes. And so there's a few things going on here for sure. At all full moons, there's a culmination of some sort. There could be endings, that type of thing. But in some cases, it can be a good ending. Now, when we look at Libra, Libra is about relationships. It's also about the law or laws. So just generally speaking, these two areas could be up for many people at this time. When we look at the nodes involvement here, I really felt that, especially that North Nodes with Mercury squaring Pluto, I felt that there was, I actually heard a gong go off in my head, almost like, Big Ben, when Big Ben resounds and everybody can hear it. It's that type of thing, that we are going to have this resounding message about our destiny, especially as it relates to shifting power, right? Because Pluto is all about power. There could be some big revelations here as well. Not that that's unusual these days. But I like the real thing I like about this full moon is that the ruler of the full moon in Libra is Venus. And Venus is sextile Neptune. So to me, there's a sweet spot here as well. A sweet spot with regards to a couple of things. One, making our dreams potentially come true, being given opportunities for that. For others, having an opportunity to express love with a soulmate type of person. That could be up as well. But when we have the Sun conjuncting Chiron, I would say that, wounding of some sort could be brought up where you're wounded, and especially as it ties in with potentially relationships. There may be some breakups at this time. A full moon in Libra can indicate literal ending of a relationship. That could be up. But, for others, it could be that you're leaving something that isn't working for you. A relationship that's not working. And maybe even others are waiting to start a relationship. And this is the ending of your singledom. more likely it's going to be with the breakup part of it, but hey, let's include everything in this. So when we go on now to the 9th and 10th of April, we have the Sun in Aries conjunct Jupiter. So for me, this is a very auspicious day. Anytime you've got Jupiter conjunct the Sun, and especially since it's in Aries, this is an auspicious day for good luck and movement forward on our independent path. And the picture I got in my mind was in the tarot, or the tarot cards, it's the Fool. If you can picture that, that's what I really saw, this Sun conjunct Jupiter in Aries. It's a whole new start with lots of luck, lots of expansion, and lots of benefits. So I guess for those folks that need some good luck and movement forward, especially independent movement forward, those 2 days would probably be quite good for you, the 9th and 10th of April. All right, so our next lunation, I've talked a little bit about at the beginning of this video, of course, is the total new moon eclipse in Aries on the 19th of April at 9:12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And as I mentioned earlier, it's at 29 degrees of Aries, 50 minutes. There's 60 minutes in every degree, and so you're only 10 minutes off this potentially being in Taurus instead, but it's not. So Aries, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is a second new start. So for those folks that maybe didn't have something start at the first new moon in March, this could just change the whole game. And certainly, just generally speaking, for people that want to have a new start, that want to be independent, that want to express themselves, and they've not had an opportunity to do this, maybe never had an opportunity to do this, this second lunation with this total eclipse could bring something in for you. 29 degrees is a critical degree, and it talks about kind of wrapping things up in whatever sign it's in. But hey, this is a new moon, so how could that be? Well, what it says to me is that for those folks that really have this situated somewhere in their own natal charts, it says by letting go of something, you are able to set yourself free on a new independent path. And that's a big message I got with this whole total eclipse, for sure. The other thing I got is it's only when we enter a relationship do we discover ourselves. I thought that just resonated so well with this total eclipse. Even though it's in Aries, we have it aspected by the opposite sign, which is Libra, of course. So there may be some Librans that have something to do with a partner at this time, or partnership. I'll cover all the signs in the ascendants towards the end of this introduction. What else did I get from that? I guess I got also it's love, right, which is Venus and rules Libra, versus liberty, especially for this whole month when we bring both the full moon and the new moon in. So this whole month, again, is about relationships of some sort, but it's also about the relationship we have with ourselves. And especially this total eclipse that I just talked about, I really felt there was some kind of important message for some individuals that it's okay to blaze your own path. It's okay to be an individual. It's okay to sometimes flaunt the fact that you're an individual. I think as long as you take into consideration other people and respect them, you should be proud of yourself and be proud of going on your own path and not following others like a sheep. Okay, when we look at May coming up, we have another eclipse, but this time it's a full moon eclipse. It's a full moon eclipse in Scorpio, and it's at 14 Scorpio on the 5th of May. So you can think ahead, especially for those folks that have something around, say, 14 degrees of Scorpio, or the opposite sign where the sun will be 4 degrees Taurus. We also have a new moon in Taurus. This is not an eclipse, but it's a new moon at 28 degrees of Taurus on the 19th of May. So those are some things that'll be coming up in May for you. A little preview for some folks. Now I'm going to go on to the individual signs. So for Libra, of course, this full moon is in your sign. And so something's coming to a culmination for you. And for some Librans, it may be a relationship comes to an end for whatever reason. And I wouldn't see this as a negative thing. So for those Librans that do have that happen, please don't go down the route of poor me, because you've got the total new moon eclipse coming up in your 7th house. So whatever, if there are some Librans that a relationship ends or someone ends a relationship and you don't want that to happen, please hang in there towards the end of the month, not even the end of the month. You know, we've got this on the 19th or 20th of April, depending where you're living. And so especially for you, Libra, a whole new start is about to happen. And even for those that break up, there's going to be some Librans that get back together at that total eclipse new moon. Keep me posted on that for those folks that do have that happen. Now, as I always say, we got to look at your whole chart. I don't have your individual charts in front of me, and I do my best in the comments to help folks out. But you do have to have something around the degrees that I'm talking about, right? So for the full moon, we're talking about around the 16-degree mark of Libra and Aries. And then the new moon, of course, is at 29 degrees of Aries. So you can take an orb of a couple degrees around that, but not much more. I really liked, especially with eclipses and that, I like to take it spot on 29 degrees. But I'm happy to go with 28 to maybe 1 degree of Taurus for that total eclipse, because it's a total eclipse new moon. And it's the second one this year. So it's super powerful. So hang in there, all right? Now, let's just go to individually now. I've done the full moon. It also could say that diplomatic relations for some folks that work in that could come to an end. Maybe you've been negotiating diplomatically very hard, and you're able to wrap things up. And you say, okay, I don't have to do any more on that. And then at the total new moon, you have something come in here where a partner or partnership, it could be clients too, that come in and introduce a whole new beginning for you. For some, this literally could have a marriage partner come into view for you. And that's this new start that you have. It's a new start. For others, it could be a new start in a business partnership where you're required to be independent. Everyone is independent within the group, and it's encouraged independence and blazing new paths. Some Librans will have that as well. But remember that you are going to be hosting the south nodes, the transiting south nodes of the moon, starting around the 17th of July this year. And so for a lot of Librans, you're going to be letting go of things and or incorporating some things that exist right now into a new path, a new destiny path. But south nodes, generally speaking, we talk about letting go of things. And so if you're listening to this, early on, you can start thinking about that. And it might be something as simple as you literally need to let go of some things. Maybe some things have been holding you back, Libra. And I always say, if you know you need to start things new and change things up, start simple to begin with. Start simple, like cleaning out your sock drawer, reorganizing some of your kitchen, literally cleaning maybe some things. You don't have to go, crazy about doing everything at once, but these types of activities of cleaning up and organizing things could be very beneficial to you when you start hosting those south nodes around the 17th of July for about 18 months. All right, take care, Libra. Well, that wraps up my April 2023 video. I'm sending everybody, especially at this April time period, lots of love, because of course, with Libra, the Libra full moon ruled by Venus, it's love. And of course, with Aries, it's about taking initiative. So I'm sending lots of great new love to all my viewers and my clients. And I'm wishing you the very best with all your relationships in the month of April. Keep me posted on what happens to you. You know, I love to hear from you. And you will hear from me next, probably in my May video. Take care of yourself, everybody, and bye for now.